Hello my fellow Retromaniacs and welcome to Let's Read Super Metroid Manual for Super NES. So yeah, this is a game that I never owned for Super NES. The first time I played this was probably around 2002, 2003 with the SNES emulator. And for that reason I had never owned the box nor the manual, so let's read the manual finally. So we got nice cover for this manual. We got Samus and Craig. Wait a second, which one was Craig was the dinosaur, but this red flying monster, what was it was called? Well, maybe it's mentioned in the manual. Yeah, it's been so long. I think I haven't really played Super Metroid since the SNES days. Although these days there's probably like cool mods or like ROM hacks that make the game feel fresh, and also like randomizers. Planet Seeps. Alright. Broken Peace. The galaxy once enjoyed a period of peace and prosperity. Trade lines were open. The citizens were happy, and the Galactic Federation kept a watchful eye over the planets. Not long ago, the peace was broken by a startling discovery. So it's a little bit like Star Wars. It's like one galaxy. Long time ago. So they could have like whole Disney kind of lore and spin-offs explaining what's happening in the Metroid galaxy, like who's the like the boss of Samus, or the company who Samus works for. Where's she from? Is she from Earth, or I don't know. I don't know really the backstory. It's very like all the different games they have only like lightened some of the background in a couple of sentences, but never. I don't think there's ever been like a proper backstory for Samus, like where she comes from, or what's her parents, or what's her story. Yeah. And is there like a Coruscant, is there like a Senate or Republic for this galaxy? And yeah, well, I guess some things might be explained in later games that I have not played. I only played Super Metroid and Metroid 1 and 2 and Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime. But since there's no like comic books or TV show, I think the backstory is a little bit still undeveloped. But let's see. On a routine survey mission of the planet SR-388, the crew of a Galactic Federation vessel discovered a new airborne life form and gave it the name Metroid. These creatures, which could engulf other living beings and take away their energy, proved to be strong and prolific. After just a few seconds of beta ray bombardment, a single Metroid became 2 Metroids and then 4. Several Metroid specimens were gathered so that the survey vessel crew could take them to Galactic Federation headquarters for further examination. Where? In what planet? As the crew sped towards headquarters, they were ambushed by space pirates from the planet Zebes. The pirates stole the Metroids and took them to their home planet, where the planet-leading Mother Brain created a Metroid force. So what's the story of Mother Brain? Has it been explained anywhere? Why does she exist? Yeah, I think there was like in Metroid Prime, when you scanned all those texts and relics, you could learn quite a lot about the space pirates and like Coson race, but yeah, it's not really explained like what's happening now in the galaxy and who's controlling. Like Samus is a human, so I guess there's like humans, and I think there's like a scientist in Super Metroid, but we really haven't seen too many like human characters in the series. So it begs question like, why is Samus all alone as a sole human doing this thing, and why is there no like army or clone army helping Samus? So bounty hunter Samus Aran, yes, he's like Boba Fett, but in a good side and not an evil side of the Force. Was commissioned by the Galactic Federation to eliminate the space pirates and do away with the dangerous Metroids. Yeah, I think there's quite a big job for one person. They couldn't like send a colony or at least a couple of thousand troops to help, because it's like a whole planet probably gonna have 1 billion space pirates living there, so I don't know. Maybe they just tried to avoid a galactic war, so they wanted to do like a sneak mission, assassination mission. Samus landed on Zebes alone and carried out her mission with speed and precision. So yeah, she's like a James Bond. In other words, just infiltrate this enemy base. But yeah, I think this takes place after or before the events of Metroid 1 or 2. I'm not quite sure about the timeline. After the skirmish on Zebes, a special corps was assigned by the Galactic Federation to destroy the Metroids on SR-388. That corps was never heard from again. The Supreme Council gave Samus the job to fly to SR-388 and do what the Special Corps could not do, make the Metroid extinct. Okay, so I guess this explains what happened in Game 1 and 2. The Metroids on SR-388 were more advanced than the creatures on Zebes. Jebes, I don't know how to pronounce this. These monsters could shed their skins and grow even stronger. Samus worked deep below the surface and blasted all of the Metroids in her path. Her final victory was against the enormous Metroid Queen. When the Queen was defeated, Samus discovered a Metroid egg which hatched before her eyes. Even this hardened bounty hunter could not destroy the Metroid lava. Why? Did her motherly feelings stop her? When the lava sensed Samus' presence, it clung to her as though it had found its mother. Yeah, that's why you don't send girls in a mission. They just get emotional. Samus packed up the Metroid larva and took it with her to the Space Science Academy on the Galactic Federation space colony. where scientists could study the creature and understand its special organic structure. But colony, does it mean that their home planet is gone or something? Yeah. A new discovery. The Science Academy scientists found out that the energy-producing properties of the Metroid could benefit humankind. The report suggested that the Metroids may have originally been created for peaceful purposes. By whom? And how? Yeah, I think was it like Metroid Fusion? They heal you as well. There's like benign Metroids as well, angry enemy Metroids. Just when it seemed peace and order had been restored, Samus received an emergency directive from the Galactic Federation. Emergency, emergency! Return immediately to the Space Science Academy. When Samus made her way to the research facility, she found a building in ruins and the Metroid lava was nowhere to be found. Out from the darkness came a group of Zebesian space pirates and their leader, Ridley, who had Ridley and Craig, who had the Metroid lava in tow. The pirates fled to rebuild planet Zebes, and Samus followed them, resolving to finish them off and save the hatchling. So it's interesting that Ridley, he looks like totally different species from the rest of the pirates, so I don't know what kind of physiological explanation is that. It's like Ridley is like a queen bee or queen bumblebee, and the pirates are just like workers. That's why Ridley is different to the other ones. Okay, then we got controls, but I don't need to read this. Press both L and R buttons simultaneously when I'm just kneeling to aim straight up. Okay. Yeah, I should play this once more. It's been so long that, I probably have forgotten most of the stuff. Yeah, it's a good thing that, you tend to forget things, so you can play the game fresh after 10, 15 years, like you have never played it again before. So that's a good thing in forgetting. The same thing with movies. You can watch a movie you have seen 20 years ago and not remember anything about it. Boom 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I love the music in Metroid, especially Super Metroid is so atmospheric. Metroid Prime as well. I haven't played the Metroid Prime 4, obviously, because I don't have Switch 2, but I don't know how good the music is there. I think they tried to emulate the style of Metroid Prime, even using the same samples, even though they are dated nowadays, but still, right? I guess it's it's a good game, but maybe I will play it when Switch 2 is considered retro. So in 50s then. How do I make this full screen? Boop, 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 boop. Samus data option. Oh, it's interesting that they didn't make a separate version for Japanese version, that you can play Japanese mode. Usually, if they release a game outside Japan, they remove all the Japanese stuff from the game. Special settings screen. Note that if the L and R buttons are set to any item other than diagonal firing, the control item will not function. Icon cancel. Select a special weapon when you go through a door. Okay. Special items are automatically cancelled when you pass through a door. What do you mean? Like, until you press the cancel button. If you select a special item with a Y button pressed during gameplay, special items that you have used once will automatically be cancelled. I don't know. Moonwalk. Shooting while walking backwards. Fire beams while walking backwards and by pressing the control opposite direction which sounds is facing. Is it on by default? I think it's off by default. Yeah. I would think that would be useful. At least in like boss fights. You need room. And you have to back off quickly. Yeah, you can tell that these are just screenshots from the TV. It's this worse quality than emulator would have. It's like glare, fuzziness of the signal that shows. And they just crop this manually from the screen. Yeah, you know, if you know, this is still like first-party game, so you would assume that the development team could give the assets for all the icons, like their pristine bitmap, you know, graphic file, so you don't have to like take screenshots with the camera for the manual. Or that you have to play the game for some time to get these screenshots. Wait a second. Actually, I think they are using some kind of a debug mode, because yeah, it's even visible, these like secret holes here. I think this is where the animal critters are located. So spoilers. Yeah, this is just like so analog. This is like NTSC blurriness here. Game will start from this position when you restart a saved game. Hidden areas that are not shown, the area maps. Display allows to view the items that someone is carrying. L up screen will appear. Okay, they have played the whole game through here, or maybe they use like cheat codes or debug menu. Yeah, they're spoiling everything here. Spacer, ice wave, plasma beam, screw attack. Yeah, that's why I kind of like feel lucky that I didn't have manuals for most of the games, so everything I encountered was totally new. I wasn't spoiled by anything, because these manuals tend to spoil quite a lot of the game, so nothing comes as a surprise. But yeah, these they're keeping the style of the manual quite simple here with just these line drawings. It would be interesting if you know, they would have like CGI rendered graphics, like in a style of like Donkey Kong Country in Super Metroid. You know, they would have like CGI promo pictures as well, but no. But I still think you know, Super Metroid is a very beautiful game. It has nice like graphical effects, and like super bomb and rain and you know, water and different kind of like layers, and you know, darkness and light beams, and it's very like graphically impressive game for 16-bit console. Refilled 99 units. Alright, let's see. Falls down to 0 during gameplay. What do you mean, auto? Damage is refilled by 99 units if you move the cursor to reserve tank and press the A buttons. Oh, I see. I don't know, why would you have it on manual? You can combine some beams for a powerful effect, but the spacer and plasma beams cannot be used simultaneously. Wait, what? Can you use ice beam and wave beam at the same time? Maybe. I don't really remember now. Special powers boots. These boots are made for walking, and that's what they do. You can copy the data of one file to another file. Oh, cool. Start. Yeah, at least this game had a good map system. I think you know, Metroid 1 and Metroid 2 on Game Boy are very confusing because you don't have proper map, and you're just like completely lost, especially when you play like me, that takes plays the game a couple of hours and then have a couple of year break between, so I tend to forget completely the layout. I have to like rememorize the whole map again. So yeah, it just takes a few hours just to try to find and like get a sense where you are when you come back to the game. They're just like showing all the basics here. Oh wow, we have some hand-drawn graphics here, and this looks like almost you would see in kind of a needed a power magazine or needed a power game strategy guide. There's probably a strategy guide for Super Metroid as well. I might check those later. I have a big collection I downloaded from the Internet Archive. Raid on Zebes. Samus Aran's mission is to infiltrate the headquarters of the Zebesian space pirates and recapture the Metroid hatchling. Zebes is made up of the 6 huge areas. Here's a brief survey of the planet. But what's the deal with those animals that you can rescue for the ending? I don't know. And why would the Zebesian not stay on the surface? Why would they dig down tunnels right into the core, so there would be like lava? Seems like a pretty hazardous place to work, even if you are an alien. Starship acts as Samus' base. As you guide Samus on her journey, you can save the game data here and fill up with energy and missiles. But they're showing that you're gonna get over these. Criteria. Criteria is the surface area of planet Zebes. It is under a constant deluge of acid rain. Brinstar, the jungle area of Zebes, is made of heavy foliage. Still doesn't really make sense that why would there be any jungle inside of the core. Like this all happening underground, so there should be even ventilation is very hard to have in such a depth. If the ventilation goes off, then there's no air and everything dies there. It's not really explained that how this all works and how there can be life underneath the crust. Turian is the control center for the Zebesian space pirates and the Mother Brain. The original Turian was located just below the surface. The Samus Aran annihilated the forces of Zebes the first time. This new Turian was built in a more secure area. Northward is deep below the surface of Zebes. The lava and heat proved to be too much for unprotected visitors. Meridia, the water world of Zebes, is full of killer crustaceans and fierce fish. Wrecked ship. Long ago, astronauts from the ancient civilization crash-landed on Zebes. This is what remains of their ship. Okay. But I guess this is all taking place in a couple of kilometers wide, or a few kilometers in deep, so it's probably a 0.0001% of the whole planet area. So I'm interested in what's behind these hills. If you could leave this area, what the world has to offer other than this underground passage. Well, we don't know. Yeah, but it was weird that, in Metroid Prime, Samus travels underground, but then there's sky you can see, so I'm not quite sure how that works, or if you can see sky on Fenandra drifts, does it mean that that's surface level? So some of the levels are actually on the planet surface. As you can see, like sun. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's like a overworld map of Metroid Prime that shows the extent where the levels are supposed to take place. There's like different kinds of levels, and there's the mining, Ascent mines, and you can see sky there as well. But then you go like down on the elevator. So shouldn't you always go like underneath the surface of the terrain? I don't know. Several special items scattered throughout the planet. Huso statues. Yeah, these are the names that are mentioned in the Metroid Prime. The ancient bird people of Thebes are immortalized in the form of several statues scattered throughout the planet. By firing on the balls that are held by many of these Huso statues, you'll reveal special items, and then a couple of them start fighting you for some reason. As a surprise enemy. Icon items. These items appear as icons on the top of the screen when you collect them. You can cycle through them by pressing the item select button and return to normal your beam weapon by pressing the item cancel button. Missile tanks fire button. Add capacity curve 5 more missiles. Tapping the missile charge unit. Super missiles are much more powerful than standard missiles. Blocks that show the super missile icon can be destroyed by super missiles. Power bombs can hit everything on the screen. Blocks within the power bomb icon can be destroyed by power bombs. Can destroyed. Who made this? Someone who didn't proofread this one. Grappling beam. You can shoot the grappling beam into metallic blocks with holes in the center. Yeah, it's very convenient that the Gypsian built their tunnels with these blocks that help Samus. I don't know what's the use for them, but you know, that's like you try to find a Watsonian explanation for Doylean game design. It's the same thing, like why is there like puzzles in Zelda dungeons? Why are they? What are they meant? Whom are they meant for? X-ray scope. Dash button held down. Someone's going to move while using this item. This item allows you to see hidden passages. It would have been interesting if even Super Metroid had that scan feature, that you could scan things and get like you could scan enemies and walls and get more information. But yeah, I always liked that thing in Metroid Prime. It made the game feel like collecton game as well, because you want to aim 101%, and then you're like, oh my god, I missed one enemy, and that was unique battle, so damn, I have to start the game from the beginning. But yeah. Okay, energy tanks, reserve tanks, emergency energy source. It's like take an idea from a Zelda fairy in a bottle. When you destroy enemy creatures, they often leave behind missiles or energy balls. Collect these items to add to your missile or energy supplies. It is these low quality screenshots. Beam items. At the beginning of the game, Samus is equipped with a normal beam. You can increase Samus' power by collecting new beams. Some beams can be combined with other beams for even more power and diversity. Yeah. you merge wind, fire, water, and soul, and you get Captain Planet Beam. The charge item allows you to charge your beam and send out a super powerful blast. These screenshots are so crusty. The ice beam freezes enemies for a short time. You can use frozen enemies as platforms. The wave beam sends out a charge in a wavy pattern and pierces some obstacles. Spacer. The spacer beam is a 3-beam attack, allowing to hit objects in a wider range. Plasma. The most powerful of all beams, can destroy several targets at once. You only get like in the final section of the game, so it's always the annoying thing, you know, in video games, that you get very powerful, but then the game ends within an hour, so you can't really enjoy your current form of being very powerful. There are two special suits which allow you to explore different areas of the planet. Various suit. This suit cuts the damage from the enemy attacks in half and allows you to explore in high temperature zones. Gravity suit. This suit reduces the damage from enemy attacks to 1/4 and allows you to move freely in water-filled areas. Boot items. High jump boots allow summons to reach higher places. Space jump. Summons can jump continuously in the air and fly through open areas. To operate this item, press the jump button just after summons peaks in a somersault jump, and it was a little bit difficult. You have to find the rhythm. The same thing with like using bombs to reach heights. You have to like find the rhythm to rise. Samus speed booster allows Samus to run at a super high speed and that make her invincible as she runs through enemies. Speed booster icon melt away when Samus runs into or over them at super speed. It cannot be used in water unless Samus is using the gravity suit. Morphing ball. You can use the morphing ball to make Samus roll in the ball and squeeze into narrow areas. It's not really like explained anywhere that how can Samus like how can her interiors and like lungs or liver or bones squeeze in the ball form? What is she like, a earthworm or an android? I don't know. Yeah, it's video game logic. You have the bombs. You can set the explosive device by making Samus roll in the ball and pressing the fire button. In addition to damaging enemies, bombs can blow open certain sections of the floor. Spring ball. Jump while roll. Screw attack. Somersault into enemies and blast them out of the air. Water. And then we got some flashing certain enemies. Metal poles. How to make them move out of our way. Ice beam. Creatures of seeps. There are some creatures to encounter. Criteria. Ripper. Cree. Gamers. Waver. I like this art style here. Reminds me of like Zelda 2 manual. Rio. Kakatak. Tide Hopper. Barfly. Yeah, they should have a like a Donkey Kong Country type of ending where they show all the enemies, like or like a Super Mario World ending. Spores spawn and mini boss. Wow, grade. Giant lizard of Prinster attacks Samus with it thorny projectiles and spits spheres out of its Mouthed. No, whatever. Oh, I thought these were like navel. Have any effect on its body. The creature's weak point is unknown. Dragons. Magdolites. Crochromire. Multiwile. Garuda. Ridley. Whips out enemies with his long tail and spits fire while flying through the air. Nice. Coltera. Mockthroids. These are not the Metroid, it's Metroid clones. Easy to defeat. Ovch. Ever. Very quite cute. Eyes. Tree. Gone. Cavern. Work robots. Ancient man. Service inside of the ship. Phantom. Wow. Looks like almost Doom enemy. Page pirates. Sibizians. Wow. Key hunters. Metroids. It said Metroids are life form. It's created by an ancient civilization. Metroids engulf living creatures and absorb their energy. They are very intelligent. Will encounter many strange creatures that were not introduced in the previous pages. A few creatures offer hints or using various techniques. Watch the gameplay demonstration following the title screen for more clues on using some hidden powers. Different ending sequence for the game. The sequence that you see depends on the amount of time that you log on the planet. A shorter time results in better ending. Yeah, you can see like Samus strip her clothes. Sexy ending. But yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.